Hello everybody. So in this video I'm going to show you how you can search for content on Netflix, and presumably you're learning language. So whatever level you're at, you'll be wanting to search for things to watch that were produced in the target language. So there are a number of ways you can do this, and it depends greatly on how big the language is that you're learning. So in other words, if you're learning one of the big languages like Chinese, Spanish, French, then you'll have no trouble finding content to watch on Netflix. The only thing is you might want to narrow your search results down a bit and look for things that you're interested in specifically, rather than just generally wading through a big pile of stuff that's in a list. So I think the search engines on Netflix are not great. It's a very basic search engine, but there are a few tips that you can follow that can help you narrow your results down. So I'll go over some of those a bit later. So if you haven't already seen my playlist for Netflix videos, there's a link here. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I'd be grateful if you could do so, because that really helps me out. So let's get on with this video. So firstly, the most apparent way to search is by just using the magnifying glass search bar at the top. If you type in the word audio and then the language that you're learning, and hopefully everything that comes up is something that's been produced in that target language. I've had a few results with typing in audio and a language, and it hasn't been stuff that's been in the original language, so it's been dubbed over or voiced over. So you have to have a look for yourself and see. But I think with the big languages like French, Spanish, Chinese, Portuguese, when you type in audio, it does come up with the original languages. But I've just started learning Hungarian again, and typing in audio Hungarian doesn't come up with anything that's originally in Hungarian. It's stuff that's been voiced over or dubbed. So when I say voiced over or dubbed, some of the content on Netflix has been dubbed with actors speaking and some hasn't. So the ones that have been voiced over are like a narrative. So it's just one voice saying what's happening. So it's like sitting next to somebody in the cinema and them telling you what's going on. And you can hear the original the original language in the background faintly underneath. So another way you can search is by scrolling down to the bottom of the screen and search for the audio, language and subtitles. Click on that, and then you'll see you have a pull down menu with the languages available. So on this one, you can click on either audio or subtitles. So if you're learning a language, pretty much you're going to be looking for audio because you want to listen to something in your target language, and see what comes up with that. A third way to search is by looking at the Netflix for language learning extension catalog. So if you haven't already downloaded the language learning for Netflix extension, I recommend you doing that, because it's a great way to have subtitle content that you can look at and get some vocabulary from. But I'll be going over that in another video. So if you haven't already downloaded that, there's a link to that in the description below. So with the Netflix catalog, you click on the little red icon at the top of the screen, LLN, and then you choose your target language and your location, and it comes up with the results. So for example, for Spanish, you'll get about 300 items. Chinese, you might get 150. I'm also learning Polish, and when I clicked on the Polish catalogue, I was a bit disappointed because only 10 things came up. But then you have to expect that with a smaller language. But of those 10 items that came up, about 6 of them were for stand-up comics, which I'm not really into. So I had a bit of trouble finding something on Polish, but I did start watching one of the drama series that was recommended there. So to say about this catalogue and the other search results that you get on Netflix, there won't be any opportunity to sub-filter down and narrow your results once you've got that chunk of items to look through. It's just a matter of browsing through, unfortunately. Another way to search through Netflix is to look at the genre codes. So there's a link below to this, and Netflix has an extensive library for genre codes, and they're quite detailed. So you'll have things like forum film, a foreign film section, and then there'll be subcategories for that. So there'll be like Spanish films, French films. So I'm going to put a list of all those language films at the bottom here. So that will be in the description as well. You can just click on those and it will take you straight to your Netflix list. By the way, you have to join Netflix before you can view these. So Netflix won't let you browse through the catalogue without having first joined. But there are some screenshots in this video, so you'll see how this works. With the genres, you can type in the URL. So you type in this URL, and then at the end of it, you type in your selected code. You can search through the Netflix library catalogue for a genre that might interest you. So, for example, I typed in Shirley MacLaine, and I got a category with Shirley MacLaine comedy films, Shirley MacLaine dramas, and I clicked on that, and I had one result with one Shirley MacLaine film that came up. I guess you could do this in the search engine as well, but if you wanted to look at the genre, say like B movies or 1940s French movies and things like this, the categories are quite specific, but you might not find much in your target language. So this is a way I recommend to look for things if you're learning a big language and you want to try and narrow your results down. If you're learning a small language, then you probably won't have much to browse through anyway. I think Netflix is developing all the time, because if you look at the list of languages available on the Netflix catalogue, I think it amounts to 29 languages. Whereas if you search for some of those languages in the audio, with how I said before, with audio and then the language, sometimes nothing comes up with that particular search. So, for example, there is content in Latvian and Lithuanian on Netflix, but it doesn't appear in their catalogue. And it's the same for Hungarian as well. So I typed in audio Hungarian and I got quite a load of stuff come up. And I thought I'll watch The Grinch in Hungarian. That was one of the options. And that was quite good. Although that's one of the voiceover things I was telling you about. It's available as a voiceover rather than dubbed. So that was slightly disappointing. But then I watched a film in Hungarian with dubbed Hungarian, and that was much better. So happy searching. I hope you find what you're looking for and enjoy Netflix. And in the next video, I'll be showing you how to use the subtitles.